history of the piano. Early keyboards. The piano is perhaps the world's best known musical instrument. Its sound is easy to recognize, no matter what type of music is being played. The piano did not always sound the way it does today, though, in fact, piano ancestors had very different sounds. The first widely used keyboard was clavichord. This European instrument was first used in the 1400s with many other early instruments. Its inventor is unknown. It was a long wooden box with wire strings of different lengths stretched inside. A sound board lay beneath the string. The sound board vibrated with the strings and helped project the tones. A clavichord could be 122 to 213 centimeters, 4 to 7 feet long. People sat it on a table to play it. When a player pressed a key, tiny brass blades on a wooden lever hit a string. This made a tone. How loud the tone was depended on how hard the player pressed the key. Still, because of its design, a clavichord was not very loud. For that reason, people only played the instrument in homes. The harpsichord was first used in the 1500s. It came in different shapes and sizes that looked very like today's pianos. However, it worked differently from both the clavichord and the piano. When the player pressed a key, a lever would curl at the end plucked rather than struck a string. This made it sound more like the heart of a piano. The harpsichord was so the most popular keyboard instrument of its day. It was louder than clavichord, but it had a problem. Players could not control or change the volume, no matter how hard or soft they pressed the key. The first modern piano, Bar- uh, Bartolomeo Cristofori made the keyboard instrument in early 17th. He wanted to change the harpsichord so the volume could be controlled. To do this, Cristofori had to make the instrument work more like a clavichord. The string needed to be hit, not plucked. Cristofori changed the mechanism of the instrument and how it worked. First, he switched from a quill to a hammer. The hammer was covered in leather to create a better sound. When a player pressed a key, the hammer hit the string from below. When the player released the key, another part, called a damper, came down to rest on the string. The damper stopped the string from vibrating and ended the note. The design made it possible to hit strings hard to touch them gently. Gently. Players could now produce both loud and soft notes. Cristofori called his instrument the pianoforte, a name called up of the Italian words for soft and loud. In time, the name became just piano. Other instrument makers added to Cristofori's design. One, a German named Silbermann, showed his version of piano to the famous composer Johann Sebastian Bach. Bach had written many pieces for the harpsichord and didn't think much of Silbermann's instrument. This made Silbermann so upset that he destroyed it with an axe. everywhere. It took a while for European musicians to accept the piano. In time, though, Bach grew to like the instrument. Other famous composers, such as Haydn and Mozart, wrote many pieces for piano. By the late 1700s, Europeans wanted to hear more piano music. Changes made to pianos improved their sound in big halls. The hammers were covered in felt instead of leather. The softer felt created a rich, warm tone. Keyboards also grew from 54 keys to 88, larger to provide space for the other string. Metal sound boards replaced wooden ones and gave tones a, a pure sound. At first, all pianos were grand pianos. By the 19th century, however, pianos were very popular in Europe and North America. To keep up the demand, with demand company began to make a smaller, less expensive piano. More people, more people were then able to buy piano and fit in their home. As more and more pianos were sold, people began to play different types of piano music. For example, African Americans sang and played gospel song on the piano. They also began experimenting with new style music. This led to the birth of ragtime, a jazzy form of music written just for the piano. Modern versions. When recorded music came along in the early 20th century, piano sales dropped. People could listen to the piano music in their homes without having to own or play a piano. Piano makers came up with new ways to make piano more attractive to buyers. They built self-playing piano. The instrument had a mechanical device that was pumped by fluid metals. At the bottom of the piano, the device held rolls of paper. Holes punched in the paper rolls caused the notes on the piano to play themselves when the pedals were pumped. Anyone could now play the piano, no lessons needed. Digital versions of self-playing pianos appeared in the 1980s. A person could choose an electronic file, then press a button. The piano key would move on their own while the music played. This digital piano could also be played like a regular piano. 88 keys were weighted to feel just like those on a regular piano. A digital piano sounds and feel like a piano but is lighter and cheaper. By contrast, the key of digital keyboards are not weighted. The most popular size only has 61 keys. However, these keyboards are light, sturdy, and easy to move from place to place. Some traveling bands use them. Many digital keyboards can produce sound from other instruments, such as a trumpet or flute. Some keyboards can make sound effects, such, such as chirping birds, with just the touch of a key. Christopher will be amazed at the sound coming from the newest version from his invention. Whether it's a digital keyboard or a concert grand though, the piano remains one of the most popular instruments around.